Okay, so most of you probably know about the USFL. It's going into week 3 after this week, and I feel like most football fans have watched it at this point, and I think most have liked it. I mean, I've really liked it. But something I want to talk about is the Michigan Panthers, the team that was projected to be the championship team of this league. You know, they were the preseason pick to win the championship. And they are 0 and 2 and probably have some of the worst luck that I've ever seen in this league. And of course, they're my team. They're the team that I chose to root for, so of course, but I want to talk about it. So, week 1 versus the Houston Gamblers, the Panthers lose. I believe it was a one-score game. It went down to the last possession, last pass, last seconds. Like, it was a really close game. But in the first half, it was bad. The Panthers were down by multiple scores. They turned the ball over multiple times by fumbling it a lot. There was a weather delay, and the ball was probably a bit slippery, and it was rainy, and it was damp, and all that. And then in the second half, it was dry. And guess what? They turned the ball over less. They held the Gamblers to 0 points in the second half. They put up 14 points, I believe, in the second half. And they lost. They still lost after clawing their way back and bringing it to one possession, to one last moment. And they still lost. And so, after that, you think, on to week 2. Well, week 2, Friday night game against the New Jersey Generals. It's supposed to be the rival. It's like the North Side rivalry or whatever, because they're both two of the more northern teams in the USFL. And the Panthers lose 6-10. This one, they turn the ball over less. They still turn it over a few times, but they turn it over less. They score a touchdown in the first half. They miss the extra point, but you don't think that's going to be a big deal, Well, when it was 6-10 near the end of the game, at one of the Panthers' last chances, they kicked a 3-point field goal, and they missed that. But if they made the extra point and they made that field goal, it would have been a tied game, and they might have gone into overtime, and they might have won. Now, obviously, that's not, just being unlucky. That's having a bad kicker. Our kicker, really, I like him more as a punter, but for whatever reason, we have our punter also kicking, which historically isn't a good thing to do. Usually when you have punters kick, it doesn't go well, but for whatever reason, the Panthers think, smart idea, if you can punt the ball, you can kick the ball, which isn't the case for everybody and clearly is not the case here. But they do it anyways, and it cost them the game in week 2, and they are now 0 and 2. The preseason championship team, the team that had the number 1 overall pick, is 0 and 2 and at the bottom of the league. And something that makes it even more frustrating is the Gamblers in their week 2 game put up like 28 something points. So the Panthers defense, and they held New Jersey to 10 points. So the Panthers defense is really good. The Panthers defense is solid. It's good. Jeff Fisher, like he says, his cornerbacks are playmakers, and they are. They've gotten picks. They've gotten good coverages and stuff like that. They've defended the ball. They've been really solid. And the defensive line has been good, and the linebackers have been good, and the defense has just been good. They've had a few mistakes here and there, but that's normal. But the offense, oh my goodness. The offense, Shea Patterson, okay? 1 second, he will look like a prime Carson Wentz, Russell Wilson, scrambling around the field, slinging the ball down the field, just looking great. And then the next second, he'll wait too long to pass the ball and he'll get sacked, or his line collapses around him and he gets sacked, or he has a horrible pass and it goes incomplete or intercepted, and he is just so bipolar. And you want to know, we could have had any quarterback we wanted because we had the number one overall pick. And we chose Shea Patterson over Jordan Teamu. And Jordan Teamu, he's been better than Shea Patterson. I mean, the Bandits haven't been the best, but their quarterback play with Jordan Teamu has been decent. It's been better than Shea Patterson. And we could have had Shea Patterson. I mean, we could have had Jordan Teamu, but instead we picked Shea Patterson. We could have any of the other quarterbacks who are playing well. But instead we have Shea Patterson, who, I mean, he looks good sometimes, but then other times he looks horrible. And the offensive line, is horrendous. The receiving core is decent. They can make some good catches and stuff like that. It's just when they catch the ball, they aren't very good at creating yards after they catch the ball. And the running back room for Michigan looks good too. I mean, most of our touchdowns have been scored by running backs. Most of our first downs and stuff like that have been gotten by running backs. Just a majority of our offensive movement has been from our running backs, and they've been good. It's just, it hasn't been enough to get us over the hump. Like, we've performed decently, but we haven't performed well enough to beat the other team we're facing. And it just, it's like FC Cincinnati or the 2018 Pacers or any team that has so much potential and an ability to be good, but they get unlucky or they make a few mistakes, and it's just a few mistakes too many. Or they make a normal amount of mistakes for a team, but in that particular game they're playing, a normal amount of mistakes doesn't cut it. And it's just really frustrating because they can't catch a break. Unlike all of these other teams, and all these other teams who are projected to be worse than us are having success. And we are 0-2. And you need to get in the top 2 teams in your division to make the playoffs. There's still 8 more games left in the year, because there's 10 weeks. Going into week 3, play on Sunday. We're at the bottom of the division. Just need to get to number 2 or number 1 of the division, and we're in the playoffs. The playoffs are 2 rounds. The divisional round and then the championship. So we still have a shot. The season's not down the drain, but it makes me angry at how they could be good. And they have all the pieces to be good. But they just can't get there. They just can't get there. So I don't know. We'll see how week 3 plays out, I guess. See you guys next time. As always, I'm not funny. And Shea Patterson, please just be better. See you guys next time.
Just got unlucky on a few plays tonight. You know, one of those plays, I thought he was standing still, but he just hit the shit out of that one guy, and the guy went flying. They blew the whistle, and they called it on him.